Right, this the questions, right? Jesper Winge Leisner kills a 3-year-old boy. According to the newspaper, he says this in 2002. That could be -1, right? Then the I think I remember something about outside Esbjerg in a tunnel, right? And maybe he drew us back and so on. Then there's another thing mysterious about this. There was a lot of mails going from me to United States and to the Danish government because I had an unofficially just affair with Jarl, right? And he said there was a threat on me, and he connected it to Fo, which probably is the source, right? Then of course, I had a threat on my life, so I went to see the justice and also informed the United States about this threat again and so on. I have been victim of terror and the KGB former, right? So basically, I take things serious. So I actually, in August, I think I was sending the horse away to be stable in Billund for a short period because I felt like if we didn't have to travel with buses and train, it would be limited target. There will only be maybe me, right? So I was actually thinking about other people's safety at the same time as being afraid for being target, right? There was a journalist from RT, which is the Russian part, but I have no problem with the Russians at the moment. And he was putting up equipment to surveillance the apartment. That is the tape of Norwegian. The child screaming is my child, and the voice you can shortly hear. I'm saying, "Calm down" in Danish, right? You can hear it. Actually, the weird thing about this, there was no answer, and we know now that was because the wire was hacked. It was wire scam at that time too. So basically, I spotted Michael Bay in the area or look like him, right? And because I was in alarm state, I asked him, "Who are you?" or something. We were standing in the same bus place, and he said he was from America. And at that time, I didn't know him as a famous instructor. I just looked at his clothing and his hair and thought like, okay, he looks like somebody returning from not so much success or whatever. I thought he was criminal, really. I spotted him twice up in September 12th. That's why I think this 13 hours is likely also because of the next I want to say now. So basically, I wrote to Clinton also about Chris Stevenson that I could see there was a lot of demonstration in Libya at that time. That was before, right? So basically, the the talking about Chris Stevenson and the demonstration, I think that was not so smart, right? So basically, I wrote about Ukraine, I wrote about Breivik, I wrote about to the United States, right? I worked with the United States in Northern Ireland, in Yugoslavia, and the Cold War, so that's nothing new. So what happened, I think, was that in the early afternoon, there was a knock on the door, and Chris Stevenson came in, and I hadn't seen him before. I only seen a picture. There's a huge difference between pictures and people. I didn't really understand because I was not told he was coming. So he comes in, and we start to talk about the situation, about the threats, also the missing Bulgarian kids in the area. And here is some that we have to go away. We have to leave with the boys. So we are actually trying, get ready to leave. Then there's a second knock on the door, and that's apparently they came in a rush. Like they were, the memories I have, if I was blinded, couldn't see anything, it was aggressive, the child was screaming, and I had a confession on the scene from a person that I believe had dark eyes. I was almost like going into shock at that time. So basically, they were a sort of home invasion. I was left to die, and I almost died. And I think I was found sometime later because I was very skinny when I came to the hospital. I must have been laying in the apartment in and out of conscious, right? I think I went into what you call physical shock, which is dangerous and can cost your life, right? There were no signs of the child. At the time being, there was a lot, at that night, there was a lot of sirenes and stuff like going on. There was a lot of noise and very violent environment. The whole housing environment was shocked afterward. I had to, even I was in shock, comfort everybody. I called at the same, after the scene, after the left, I called first the father to be sure he was not involved. He was not involved. He was far away, he was shocked, he couldn't understand, and he's missing. Then I called the RS ambassador because I knew he was in the area. He was in Denmark, so I asked him, try find the boy. That might be that story about the little boy found up north. Maybe, I don't know. But who did he communicate with? If he was trying to find the boy, what happened to him afterwards, right? Then I called the United States direct line over the New York City Ballet, but it went into the state, I think, because there was a wire transfer, and I'm the one that said they're killing us. At that time, I didn't know if I was going to survive the next days and so on. I called Ekstrabladet, which is a newspaper. They have a criminal leader right now, so I don't know about today. But at that time, they were like critical to everyone and everything, and that I felt I had to have some kind of witness because I know nobody's gonna witch him with. There's a lot of money in this case. Royalty, design patent, payment never reached me, right? So there's a billion running around, corruption, you know, making rumors, blah blah blah. So basically, and then I called the police and claimed that the invasion was fatal. They know that, but they somehow left it out in connection to Esbjerg Commune. That's not good. But I think the case actually runs external from the commune, and maybe all of my papers are external. Even it looks like they're from the state, they might be external. I see people sometimes when I draft money, I'm supposed to have a lot of money. I have nothing. I have a state pension. And I can sometimes see if I draft, there's somebody drafting in, I'm drafting out, right? We got a lot of piracy copy, a lot of DVD fake and blah blah blah. So it could be like the whole thing is like external. There's a lot of document fraud as proven here and so on. Did I call anyone else? Hang on. No, then I start to claim that the commune of Esbjerg is connected to the police, and they got a case from a lawyer, and I think he must be criminal because I had said it was fatal. That would say the case all the time has been a crime case, but they ran it smoothly up into the commune, so it looks like a missing, a foster case, right? Foster home case, but there's more to this, because beside of the document fraud, they whitewash papers. There's documents from close to this situation that is likely not to be professional papers, not social worker, not police, but someone else, right? They are whitewashed. Everything is whitewashed into needy, like she's an idiot, right? And they uses fake dates on the documents. There are some documents from before the wall came down, DDR, and they're like 30 years old, and they use them again and again without saying they're 30 years old. That's fraud. So basically the case is a fraud case. The real timeline and the real crime wasn't really important because there was a lot of money in it. And I think that the two events of the car, maybe the car crash and the home invasion, is connected. I don't know, but it could be. So basically, I survived. I was a half year or more in a hospital. They were good, actually. The first place was not so good, but then I come over. But data from the hospital were used in film, connected to Vinge Leisner, right? At Chance Moore. In the Chance Moore, there's a woman. In this, Chance Moore is a Susanne Bier film, and it's a character murder, right? And she also had a little detail that's important. I see this supposedly son 1 hour a month in an apartment private enterprise in Esbjerg. On the post address was the name Jennifer Grace. That's an actor role from Susanne Bier. So she's actually hosting with an actor's name. And it's not really, it's not a actress name, it's a invention. So she's inventing names on the door where I see the boy 1 hour a month, and the ID of the boy is moving 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So basically, she's involved. The last thing I want to say, there's a lot of details I didn't tell you about, but listen. In her film, A Chance More, there's a person being interviewed by the police. The case is in the film that a policeman stolen the child, and they interview her, the woman of the child, where the child is, and of course they know that, and she answers like this, quote, "I hope he is alive." Right? If you phrase that a little bit, "I hope he's alive," that's a hope gone, right? Normally, everybody losing a child would think he has to be somewhere. He will show up one day. He will knock my door when he found out that he's not the real son. He will come home, right? That's not the case here,